The ninth episode opens. Guards of UDC raid a boat and check the passengers for weapons. The jackal watches from the shore via tourist binoculars. Xena Jansom hits the machine and demands to know what happened. She reminds him that UDC is scheduled to launch River in 48 hours. He tells her that he isn't on holiday and walks away. UDC is swimming in the ocean between bodyguards on jet skis. Armed security guards monitor from outside the house. Later, Teddy assures UDC that no one will kill him. UDC asks him to launch River if he is killed. Teddy says the board only supports River because of him, otherwise they hate it. Bianca Pullman researches Captain Mike Baldwin in the Secret Intelligence Service database. She later visits him in a visit where he is dying from lung cancer. She identifies herself as an MI6 agent before asking what happened in Helmand. He asks her to leave and starts to call the nurse. She grabs the call light remote out of his hand and says the nurse will bring him morphine after they have talked. Elsewhere, the jackal researches boat stabilizers. Bianca tells Isabel Kirby that Duggan worked alone but stayed in contact with his spotter, Gary Cobb, who may still be alive. Kirby says there are not enough resources to keep the investigation open. Bianca asks if they are supposed to admit defeat and assures her that she is getting close to the jackal. Kirby demands she move on. Bianca tries to challenge her, but is quickly shut down. She cannot reach Osita Halcrow. Elsewhere, Edward Carver questions Osita about intelligence leaks on Belarus and Norman. Osita deleted texts from a phone registered in the US. The jackal stuffs several fake passports into his pocket. Nuria watches Charles and Carlitos via a baby monitor. He puts Carlitos to bed and leaves the room. Nuria asks if their marriage is real. He doesn't respond. After calling him a liar, she gives him one last chance to tell him the truth. He admits to killing people for money. She forces him to repeat it until he gets upset. She says it isn't enough. Bianca tells Osita that Duggan was close to his spotter Cobb. He reminds her that the investigation is closed. She says no one cares if the jackal kills UDC. Raising his voice, he tells her to shut up and ends the conversation. Later, Bianca and Paul Pullman talk about their marital issues. They love and miss each other, but it isn't enough to pull them back together. The jackal promises Nuria to stop once this last job is done. She pulls away from him and goes to get coffee. He packs his bags. Alvaro tells Nuria that he promised Jimmy Tejero that Charles would meet with him. He told Jimmy about his money, not his other activities. She warns Charles that Alvaro has been dealing with Jimmy, a dangerous gangster. Frantic, she says he knows about the money. He promises to take care of it. They kiss before he leaves to tell Alvaro that he will meet Jimmy. Alvaro says the meeting is at Hotel Sierra in La Victoria. Charles promises to come with him. Alvaro embraces him. Marjorie Marshall tells UDC that the board wants River's launch pushed back a month. When he refuses, she reminds him that he has lost $1.2 billion from the Dag House share price drop. He says River will force wealthy people to give up their luxury items, which is something he will gladly do to give youth a decent life. She warns him that all board members will resign if River is launched tomorrow. He tells her that River will launch tomorrow, regardless. Jeremy Whitelock tells Timothy Winthrop that the business secretary is sure the European courts wouldn't pose an injunction to stop UDC from launching River. Timothy says their only hope of stopping UDC is the jackal. The jackal borrows Guillermo's boat. At the Hotel Sierra, Jimmy begins to question if Charles is really coming. Alvaro assures him that Charles will be there. Jimmy questions how much Charles is worth. Alvaro says millions from international finance. A waiter is refilling their glasses when Jimmy slumps over the table. She screams. The jackal enters room number 7 and installs a silencer on his rifle. Bianca arrives at an empty house. She lies down on Jasmine's bed. Lying down, the jackal recalls his disagreement with Nuria. Bianca reads a news report about Jimmy's assassination. She accesses the database, learns the assassin had a high degree of precision and skill. The jackal tells Bogdan that he is trying to get a photo of the Calandra lark. After a short distance, the jackal asks him to stop. Bogdan brings the boat to a halt. The jackal cuts his throat and begins setting up his gun on the boat. The gun is on a gimbal. He shoots a rock near the island. UDC and Teddy hang out in bed. UDC doesn't think he can go for a swim after such a terrible night. Teddy tries to convince him to go for a swim. The jackal notices a drone above him. He pretends to be fishing. Keith Canvey talks to another man about Bogdan's boat. UDC and Teddy get up and walk downstairs. The jackal sees them walking outside, so he puts on a vest. As the jackal sets up his shot, another boat speeds past him. The wave causes him to miss his opportunity. A jet ski is sent out to check on Bogdan's boat. The jackal sees the jet ski and shoots the driver. He finally decides to deal with the drone by causing it to crash. Keith learns that there's a sniper on Bogdan's boat. UDC is warned to get out of the water. The jackal times him and shoots his guard when he comes up. Then he tries to shoot UDC. The jackal ends up shooting in the back of the neck. He flees using Bogdan's boat, but he's not alone as there are others after him.